Hi, my name's Ace Trenillium, and contrary to popular belief, I actually really love the Pokemon anime. I just really wish they'd stop making characters that are pedophiles. What the fuck? We're gonna start as we mean to go on and be super duper picky, and this episode starts with Misty asking what kind of badge they have at the gym on Navel Island. Who gives a toss as long as it's an Orange League badge? If it gets Ash into the league, a badge is a badge, mate. The island seems deserted, but before long, a guy windsurfs over and introduces himself as Danny, and says if they're looking for a gym badge, then they've come to the right place. We know they have, mate. We've known ever since the last episode, when Joy told us there was a Pokemon gym on this island. Try and keep up, lad. Direct quote from Danny after Misty introduces herself.
Misty, eh? That beautiful name suits you.
Oh no. He's a pedo. Seriously though, Danny looks to be about what? At least 30? And he's hitting on a 10-year-old girl? Sounds like a pedo to me. So this Danny guy outed himself as a pedo 34 seconds after he first appeared on screen. That's gotta be a record. Oh, another direct quote from Danny to Misty.
I've seen plenty of beautiful things on these islands, but nothing as beautiful as you.
Oh my god, just please stop. Pokemon, what are you doing? This is already more uncomfortable than the Doctor in the Chansey episode. Why couldn't you just make Danny a cool gym leader? Why did you have to give him a penchant for prepubescent? Christ, is it too late to skip this episode? The gang talk about how Danny appears to have everything he could possibly need in his backpack, and Danny cracks off some spiel about always being prepared, but is nobody going to explain why Danny appears to be the only person who lives on this island, or why it's so deserted? Something doesn't feel right, and I think it's got something to do with the near 7-foot nonce. After Ash and Misty almost get into an argument, Danny laughs and says they seem to be really close, and that they say that you always hurt the one you love. Do you hear that? That's the sound of 1,000 moist Pokeshippers heading this way. Relax though, Pokeshippers, you always hurt the one you love is just a saying. It's not some grand evidence that Ash and Misty are somehow destined to fall in love with each other, and more importantly, they're both 10 years old, so why any of you are so invested in the idea of these two 10-year-old characters getting together is beyond me. These two children are friends, and that's all they should ever be, and no one should think about anything beyond that, because that's really creepy, and I can't stress that enough. Direct quote from Misty.
You've got it all wrong. I'd never get involved with a little kid like him.
You know who does want to get involved with little kids? Danny. Oh my god, I've just realised. Of course Danny lives on a deserted island. No police. Ash and friends need to leave this place, like, immediately, if not sooner. Just kick Danny in the nuts, grab the Sea Ruby badge, and cheese it. The gang, along with Danny, who they think is another gym challenger, arrive at the Navel Island gym. When they enter, they see a sign that says challengers must climb the mountain, but by themselves, without the help of Pokemon. The last line, any trainer using a Pokemon will be disqualified, is particularly poignant. Think about this. This is a show called Pokemon, and the trainers have been told they'll be disqualified if they use Pokemon. I don't know about you, but I am really missing the Indigo League right about now. Something else I'm missing is a whole bunch of likes on this video. Please do me a favor and twat that like button, share the video on social media so more people could see it, and leave a lovely comment down below. If you can't think of a comment, just post something generic, like
shame there's not an Officer Jenny that travels from island to island like Nurse Joy.
Or just comment the name of the secret Pokemon that I've hidden somewhere in this video. And if you're new here, thank you for giving us a chance. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an episode of Pokemon WTF Moments. I'm so glad I tuned into Pokemon this week to watch a guy climb a fucking mountain. I can't wait to tune into Digimon later and watch Izzy file his parents' tax returns. Ash gets jealous because the attention is on Danny and not him and ends up slipping down the mountain. Danny yells to Ash to hang on, but come on. He's falling backwards and away from the mountain. What are you expecting him to hang on to? Ash goes to use Bulbasaur to help him back up, but then decides against it when he remembers that he'll be disqualified if he uses a Pokemon. It does make me wonder though, how is Pikachu allowed to be climbing with him? You could make the argument that he's using Pikachu as moral support, and technically that is using a Pokemon. Also, a better question is how is Pikachu climbing this mountain with such ease? He's a mouse Pokemon that's generally found in forests, so he's not even built for this. Team Rocket turn up out of nowhere and use a suction cup on a fishing line to grab Pikachu. And whilst Meowth's taking care of that, that, Jessie and James are cooking fish to create smoke for some reason. Couldn't they have just waited till after their lunch to steal Pikachu? Would have made things a lot easier. Also, what the hell are these fish? Just regular real-world fish? Must have cost them a fortune to have them shipped in from a completely different universe. When the suction cup first hit Pikachu, it landed across the stripes on Pikachu's back. But for some reason, after Team Rocket's motto, it's migrated south to the point that it's effectively plunging Pikachu's arsehole. That can't feel good. Danny walks over and literally just removes the suction cup. Mate, why didn't Ash try that? What's this suction cup even made of if it can attach to literal boulders? There's some real anime physics going on here. And why would Meowth even think of pulling the fishing rod back after seeing it very obviously attached to the rock? I'd have just waited for Danny's arm to get tired, or better yet, use this as a distraction to try something else. As Team Rocket's balloon is sent soaring into the mountains, both Jessie and James cling to Meowth for warmth, and he complains that they're choking him. Jessie replies,
"You're the only fur I have."
"Didn't really need to know if you were clean shaven or not, Jessie. Thanks." I'm sure Danny might care though. We're almost halfway through this episode, and pretty much all we've done is watch Ash Ketchum walk up a hill. And statistically speaking, this has got to be someone's favorite episode. But how though? Pikachu begins to struggle with the cold, so Ash helps him by wrapping his jacket around Pikachu and holding him close. But this begs the question, why didn't you just leave Pikachu with Tracey and Misty to take the cable car up? You'd have even gotten up the mountain quicker too, since you wouldn't have had to deal with Team Rocket trying to steal him. Basically, bringing Pikachu was a massive waste of time. When they reach the top, Misty offers to share her blanket with Danny. Misty, please, don't entice the pedo. It's bad enough he exists. It's finally revealed that Danny is the Navel Island gym leader and a member of the Orange Crew. He says he hopes Ash is ready for their big match. Finally, here we go. Now that Ash has done the boring trial part, we can dedicate the entire second half of the episode to an epic and intense Pokemon battle, right? Wrong. Note the wording. Danny says he's looking forward to their match. He didn't say anything about a battle. Man, I hate the Orange Crew. Hang on, how is this the Sea Ruby badge? Earlier, Tracey described it as being a seashell with a ruby in it, but since when are rubies green? Direct quote from Danny.
First, we'll see who can freeze hot water the fastest.
Oh my god, you couldn't have made that sound any more boring. Who's this meant to be for? What kid's tuning into a show about battling monsters and thinking,
"Oh man, I hope this is the week where we finally get to see them freeze hot water"?
Danny sends out a Nidoqueen to compete in the challenge, and Ash doesn't bother checking the Pokedex for any information. Oh sure, you'll check the Pokedex for Pokemon like Gloom and Seadra that you've literally seen before, but for a Nidoqueen? For the last non-legendary Pokemon that has yet to debut in the anime until today? Nah, of course not. Ash mate, you're a numpty.
Well, actually, Liam, maybe Ash didn't check the Pokedex for information on Nidoqueen since he wasn't going to be battling it.
You know what? You're probably right, and isn't that just a little sad? Seriously, we could have had a battle between Nidoqueen and Lapras, and instead we're getting Fridge Freezer Simulator. I know I go on about this lack of battles thing, but it really shouldn't be this hard for Pokemon to write an exciting episode of Pokemon. Nidoqueen's in the lead for the entirety of this absolutely riveting geyser freezing race, but at the very end, Danny yells,
Nidoqueen, full power now!
Why wasn't it even using full power from the start? If you tell a Pokemon to use Ice Beam, you kind of expect it to use the best damn version of Ice Beam it could possibly hope to pull off, don't you? Danny, you gotta train your Pokemon better, mate. The next round will be sculpting the ice. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Listen lads, if I wanted to watch a show where people take random crap and make it into something useful, I'd just watch Scrap Heap Challenge. Yeah, remember that? I mean, one thing you obviously remember, because I'll never let you forget, is that you can use code ACE for money off G Fuel. That's right, never forget, you can use code ACE to save 10% off your entire G Fuel order. Today I am drinking the wonderful, refreshing Hive Nectar. I am a fiend for Hive Nectar right now. It's so bloody good. Oh, it's so nice, so refreshing, and it's so warm in here right now. I really need this. Use code ACE today and you can save 10% on your G Fuel order. And thank you as always to G Fuel for sponsoring this wonderful channel. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because children don't need caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. So the challenge is to carve this ice sled, and besides giving away what the third round's gonna be, it's also made me realize the Orange Crew's challenges so far have been really unfair. Think about it. it, they do these challenges with every single challenger that comes along. Whereas for most of the challengers themselves, it's likely that this is the first time they've ever had to do something like this with their Pokemon. Like, when would Ash and his Bulbasaur have ever had to have practiced sculpting an ice sled? It's just dumb. Everything in the challenges set out by the Orange Crew so far have leaned in favor of the gym leader, and that's wrong. At least in all the other regions, you know what you're getting into. A Pokemon battle. Ash reveals the Pokemon he'll use to sculpt the sled are Pikachu, Bulbasaur, and Charizard. And when they hear this, Misty and Tracey both exclaim,
"Not Charizard!"
Shut up, Tracey. You don't even know anything about Ash's Charizard. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you've seen it, so why are you acting like you know it's a bad choice?
Well, actually, Liam, maybe Ash told Tracey whilst they've been travelling about all the problems Charizard's caused by not obeying.
Nah, didn't happen on screen, so didn't happen.
Well, actually, Liam, that kind of contradicts what you've been saying about TMs being canon, even though it's not been shown.
Sure, but I wouldn't be on brand if I wasn't a hypocrite. And I'm pretty sure it's my name on the channel, so I'm the one that gets to make the rules. As the challenge begins, Charizard refuses to get involved. Wow. I, for one, am shooketh. And yes, that was sarcasm. Ash tells Charizard he needs it to use its flamethrower, and Charizard takes this as an opportunity to try and murder Ash. The thing I've never understood is if Charizard dislikes Ash this much, and doesn't want to obey him or help him in any way, why doesn't it just fly away? It's not like Ash could really stop it, and Pokeballs only reach so far. Oh, fuck off. Apparently, Charizard's errant flamethrower blast somehow perfectly melt down the ice to the exact specifications of the ice sled they need to win the challenge. Mate, I know we have to suspend our disbelief a little bit in this universe, but this is bollocks. Well, at least it brought us the return of the shocked Pikachu meme. Is this the first time we've seen it since Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden? I've not really been looking for it. What is it with the Orange Crew so far and wanting to race instead of battle? Just be honest, guys, you didn't want to write a Pokemon anime. It's just you couldn't get that wacky Racers reboot off the ground. Side note, if they actually wanted to reboot Wacky Racers, I would not complain. I loved that show. So partway into the race, after a hole dug by Team Rocket causes Danny's sled to crash, Ash stops his sled and gets out to help Danny. What are you doing, you idiot? Just win the race and worry about Danny later. After all, he's a pedo. If he's injured or even killed, that can only be a good thing. I'm just saying, there is such a thing as being too protagonistic. Ash says this was a trap and he thinks he knows who set it up. And Danny asks who? What do you mean who? Did you forget about the trio of random criminals that have been knocking about on this island that you literally saw try and steal Ash's Pikachu? Danny, use your noodle. Team Rocket are briefly disguised as snowmen, and good lord, I need that Meowth one in plush form. That looks amazing. Meowth pushes a button that detonates the ground below Ash and Danny, sending them falling into a hole. Danny says they must be pretty smart and pretty skilled to set a trap like this one. Smart and skilled? Mate, they dug a hole and covered it up. That's like the most basic trap in recorded human history. After Team Rocket use a robot arm to grab Pikachu, Ash's Bulbasaur uses its vines to help everybody climb out of the hole. Although Danny's Geodude just floats out, meaning that it could have escaped and attacked Team Rocket at any time. I guess it just couldn't be arsed. Danny's Geodude is a lazy bastard. Pass it on. Team Rocket reveal they're using the electricity their shockproof container absorbs from Pikachu to save money on their electric bill and power their appliances. Say what you want about Team Rocket, but that's genius. Oh no, now Ash and friends are throwing snowballs at Team Rocket. If only they were in a hot air balloon and could easily float away. Seriously, what's the point of this? Like, what good are these snowballs gonna do? Just use your Pokemon properly. Plus, Geodude's weak to ice, so this must be really bad for its hands. Now this is more like it. They actually decide to use their Pokemon to make a makeshift catapult to send Electrode up to the balloon. At least they use an Electrode, I guess. After Electrode hits the balloon and the impact knocks Pikachu back down to Ash, Jessie says,
"This calls for a Pokemon battle."
And they must be trolling us at this point, because a Pokemon battle does not happen. James simply sends out Victory Bell and gets chomped like always, and Electrode, who's been suspended in the air for an unbelievably long time, falls into the balloon's basket and uses Explosion. So they said this calls for a battle, and we're not getting a battle. Pokemon, why'd you get our hopes up like that? That wasn't cool. I love that when Ash and Danny restart the race, we get a shot of Tracey and Misty waiting patiently at the goal line. Have they been waiting there the whole time? Even if they didn't see all the commotion, they'd have surely seen Team Rocket's balloon floating in the sky in front of them, and they didn't even try and help out? That's not very protagonisty. Since Bulbasaur's crap at steering, Ash and his team are sent flying off course and into the trees. Realistically, there's no way he can catch up to Danny now. But of course, this is anime. Now what annoys me here is that this shot is from Danny's left side, which means that Ash's sled at this point is actually pointing slightly up the mountain. That's not the way to the finish line, Ash. That's the way you came. How have you even managed this? So let me get this straight. We're supposed to believe that a slab of ice with a child and 3 small Pokemon sat on it that just landed on the ground and started moving again is somehow faster than an aerodynamically designed sled with an adult and 3 much heavier Pokemon in that's been building momentum coming down the mountain this entire time. Pull the other one, lads. So Ash Ketchum wins because anime. But trust me, no amount of waves or rainbows will change the fact that this episode has been an absolute shit show. When presenting Ash with the Sea Ruby badge, Danny tells Ash he chose his Pokemon well. What are you talking about? His Lapras lost the first round and he didn't have any other Pokemon that know Ice Beam, so he had to use it. And in the second round, picking Charizard was clearly the wrong choice. It just happens that he got ridiculously lucky with his positioning when he happened to piss Charizard off. You're just saying things for the sake of saying things here, Danny. Luckily, they leave the island immediately after getting the badge. That tells you everything you need to know. Ash must have sensed this guy was a nonce and figured they needed to get the hell out of there ASAP for Misty's sake. Apparently Ash is a caring friend. Who knew? And that is another Orange League badge earned, edging us that little bit closer to the end of this arc and to the wonder that is Johto. Thankfully, from here on out, we won't be doing stupid races and things, because as far as I remember, the other members of the Orange crew actually want to battle. Thank God for that. So those are my WTF moments for Pokemon Season 2, Episode 13, Navel Maneuvers. Let me know your favourites and any that I missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Head to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam and hit follow so you never miss any of my live streams, and use code ACE for money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.